वो तो है ऑलरेडी इनवाइट कर देंगे। और तो नहीं है बस मैं लिंक एडिट कर रहा हूँ, ठीक है। और कमिटी
स्क्रीन शेयर यार भैया भैया स्क्रीन शेयर पे देखो। स्क्रीन शेयर
पे निकला लो। चलो भी चलो
विशेष काम चलाना पड़ेगा।
कल के लिए आज बैठ कर देखेंगे।
Everyone, please maintain silence. The guests are arriving. Please put your phones on the flight mode.
Please have a round of applause for the lady of the state we are receiving now. You have Professor Asina and Advocate.
A very good morning to one and all. On behalf of Bharatiya Vidyapeeth Deemed University, New Law College, Pune, I would like to welcome you all to the inaugural function of Surana Surana National Child Advocacy Moot Court and Judgment Writing Competition. It is a matter of pride to have amongst us our today's chief guest, one of the most time-away and eminent lawyer, Honorable Mrs. Indra Chesing, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India. I also feel privileged to welcome Honorable Professor Dr. A. Lakshminath, Vice Chancellor, Chanakya National University, Patna. Also, it's my pleasure to welcome Honorable Dr. S. Ravi Chandran, Advocate and Head, Academic Initiative, Surana and Surana International Attorneys. Also, we have on the dais Professor Dr. Mukund Sada, Dean and Principal, New Law College. I would also like to welcome the judges of the competition, the participating teams, and faculties from various law colleges across India. Surana and Surana National Child Advocacy Moot Court and Judgment Writing Competition is one of the most renowned and valued moot court competitions for criminal law, and it gives us immense pleasure in hosting it. Without further ado, I would request Professor Sada to felicitate our today's chief guest, Honorable guest, Mrs. Indra Chesing, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India. Sir, please. Again, I would request Professor Sada to felicitate Honorable Professor Dr. A. Lakshminath, Vice Chancellor, Chanakya National Law University, Patna. Sir, please. Thank you, sir. I would request Professor Sada to felicitate Honorable Dr. S. Ravi Chandran, Advocate and Head, Academic Initiative for Surana Surana International Academy. Thank you, sir. I would now request Professor Sada to give a welcome speech. Sir, please.
A very good morning to all of you. The esteemed chief guest of today's function, a lawyer who is known by her eminence, epitome of excellence, a champion of gender justice and equality for women, a woman activist, an icon for millions, and my favorite in Supreme Court, a celebrity for all of us. Madam is known for her fundamental argument in the Supreme Court that we all are very happy to have you there to lead the flag of Maharashtra, to lead the flag of Bombay High Court, and to feel the women in India very proud of their existence in India and in the Constitution. Madam, it's a dream come true for us that we have raised this function, and therefore these 4 lines in Hindi, because Hindi directly goes in your heart, and we talk from your heart, and therefore these 4 lines for you in your honor. आपके आने से महफिल में छा गई है बहार, आपके आने से महफिल में छा गई है बहार, आपके ज्ञान के सामने लाखों कोहिनूर है बेकार, आपके ज्ञान के सामने लाखों कोहिनूर है बेकार। सुप्रीम कोर्ट की लेडी एडवोकेट, जिसको कहते हैं द किंग ऑफ वुमेन्स राइट, वो और कोई नहीं जैसे। मैडम, भारतीय विद्यापीठ यूनिवर्सिटी is ranked among the top 50 universities in India by NIRF. We got 54th rank. We have been accredited by A+. We are a multidisciplinary, multi-faculty university. We offer all the disciplines, whether it is medicine, dentistry, homeopathy, Ayurveda, nursing, law, management, environment, social science, physical education, pharmacy, social science center, management, anything, you name it. We all have this in our university. This university is having more than 30,000 students, 10,000 professors, and it is running in 8 campuses. New Law College, Pune is one of the constituent unit of this university, and it was established in 1978. This New Law College, it is like New Delhi, but it is old as much as 40 years. This college was inaugurated by then Chief Justice Y.B. Chandrachud in 1978, and we became constituent unit in 1996. We have been ranked among the top 5 universities and law college by India Today, by Outlook magazines, for the excellence in legal education which we provide. I'm not here to tell everything about what we are doing. We are basically into making the students as skilled students who can go and practice them in the court, who do not have to wait for another 5 years doing internship under some junior or a senior lawyer, and then see that again they are doing a double course of law in the Supreme Court or the High Court or in the trial courts. So therefore, we have developed the finishing law school concept. We have developed the judicial classes training program. We are also designing skill development programs, whether it is in RERA, whether it is in GST, whether it is in new areas. We have also developed the courses on e-learning, e-filing petitions to make the students to understand that what will be the Supreme Court and High Court in 2020. So they must be e-lawyers. They must be lawyers of international repute. They must go and practice in the international courts. And therefore, we believe that the quality in justice will come when there is quality in the courts. Quality in courts will come when there is quality in judges, and quality in judges will come when there is quality in lawyers, and quality in lawyers will come when there is quality in law teachers, and quality in law teachers will come when there is quality in law school. And therefore, we believe that justice begins from law schools, and therefore we have to train the students on different perspectives, and therefore we train the students on trial advocacy, we train the students on national moot court competitions. We are also having international moot court competition, Justice P.L. Bhagwati, which is very famous moot court competition, wherein we invite the teams from foreign countries, and they do participate in this. Madam, basically this trial advocacy is to make the students learn about the court management, the art of advocacy, the skill of cross-examining the witnesses, and to make the application of how to read the facts. Because in general moot courts which are happening on the constitutional level, there is more stress on the law. You talk about interpretation and then it is more like a debate. But when it is coming to trial advocacy, in case of trial advocacy, it is not only the skill of law. What is the skill is? The skill is how you interpret the facts, how you present your facts, how you examine a witness, how you manage the court management within limited time, how do you produce the relevant documents and relevant witnesses to the court, how the evidences are admissible. These all are talked and argued in the courts, and this we are given it as the name of trial advocacy, and we are very happy to announce here that we are associated with Surana and Surana, and on the dais we have Professor A. Lakshminath, my guru and the Vice Chancellor of Chanakya National University, and Advocate Ravi Chandra, who has been always favoring us for having this Surana and Surana competition. Having said all this, I know that you all are waiting to listen to Madam Indra Jaising. All of you know that she is known for her bold statements. She is known for the best arguments. She is known for the human rights protection. The Domestic Violence Act is her brainchild. Every woman in India, particularly, will be proud of her contribution in developing the feminist jurisprudence in India. Ladies and gentlemen, she has contributed immensely in various cases. And as you know, you must have studied all those cases in your syllabus. Whether it is a case of KPS Gill, Rupam Deol Bajaj, the first sexual harassment case, whether it is a case of Geeta Hariharan, whether it is Union Carbide Corporation Bhopal Gas Strategies case, whether it is case relating to sexual harassment by the Supreme Court judges, whether it is any issue of domestic violence, whether it is any issue relating to public at large for women and children, the name of Indra Jaising is always there. And we are proud of the Supreme Court of India, that the Supreme Court of India has always taken care of maintaining the rule of law and upholding the rule of law. And this year has been a special year for women and for personal laws, where we have got the judgments on triple talaq, we have got the judgments on right to privacy, we have got the judgment on the cooling off the period of the filing mutual consent divorce petition, the 6 months period. There are many judgments which have come this year protecting women, and they are protecting the rule of law, in particular in personal matters. This all is possible because of the best brains working in the Supreme Court of India, and one of them is definitely Indra Jaising. And therefore, I request all the young students that please follow her. She is our icon, and please give her standing ovation for her contribution in development of unmarried students in India. We salute you, Madam, on this occasion for having been near proud and making us feel that there is more than for us, and we really feel that you are pride of India. With these words, I once again welcome her, and I'm sure that listening to her will be a treat. And we want that she should always bless her and come again and again to guide the students, because whenever such intellectual persons comes in the company, you automatically become more intellectual by their thoughts. Madam, as we have told that your Domestic Violence Act, which is your baby, which we have implemented in Maharashtra as Section 8 and 9 of Domestic Violence Act requires for the full-time protection officers. Through our legal aid center and with the help of Advocate on Record Rajendra Angule, we filed PIL in Bombay High Court, and we got the order for appointment of more than 450 full-time protection officers. Every full-time protection officer is connected to JMSL, to the police station, and as you know that under Domestic Violence Act, the first of the kind of Uniform Civil Code, which gives full protection to women in the form of the 5 protections which you have studied under Domestic Violence Act, whether it is protection, prevention, compensation, from any kind of domestic violence which you can claim. There was a need of protection officers, and Maharashtra is the first state, and we are proud that Indra Jaising Madam, she represents Maharashtra because she was a member of the bar of the Bombay High Court. That in Maharashtra, because we have taken the lead to our legal aid center and Advocate Rajendra Angule, we could see that 450 full-time protection officers have been appointed, and domestic violence has become a reality. The act has become a reality in the state of Maharashtra. We believe that the same will be followed in other states. The Bombay High Court has not dismissed the petition, but the Bombay High Court is monitoring the petition and seeing the implementation of Domestic Violence Act. The true dignity to the woman empowerment in real sense, and gender justice and equal justice has been possible only because of the timely efforts of. So once again, on your behalf and my behalf, I wholeheartedly welcome and feel proud to be in our esteemed company. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. To mark the beginning of Surana Surana National Child Advocacy Moot Court and Pattern Writing Competition, I would like to request our Chief Guest Ma'am and all the dignitaries on the dais to kindly step forward for the lighting of lamp. Ma'am, please. Thank you, ma'am. Now, I would request our Chief Guest, Honorable Mrs. Indra Jaising, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, to deliver the inaugural speech and declare the competition open. Ma'am, please.
Um, I'm speechless after that glowing welcome and those very flattering words. I don't mean flattering in a pejorative manner. It was it was very nice for me to hear such wonderful things being said about me. Deserved or undeserved, that's for you to decide. But what a pleasure to be here among students. So, with the permission of the honorable guests on the dais, I would like to just say a few words to you about my journey in the law. You have already been told by your principal that I focus my attention on human rights. And of course, in particular, women's rights, no doubt about it. But of course, my involvement with human rights goes beyond women's rights. Women's rights is one aspect, and that is. So I will be speaking to you a little bit about work. Although you have been told about the work that I've done in relation to cases such as Mary Roy, cases such as Geeta Hariharan, which incidentally you will be reading about in the law books as well, Rupam Bel Bajaj and things like that. I will say a few words about those cases, but I would really like to take you through to the fundamentals of lawyering. And I want to ask you a question. Why did you join law school? Why did you decide to become a lawyer? What do you intend to do with the knowledge that you acquire in this institution, this great institution, which has invested time and energy in you? Your teachers have worked hard to impart knowledge to you. Now, what are you going to do with this? That's my basic question to you. And of course, I would urge all of you to become litigating lawyers, just as I chose to become a litigating lawyer. And I'll tell you my reasons why. So, we have just passed through the occasion of Gandhi Jayanti, 2nd October. And I would like all of you to recall that Mahatma Gandhi started off life as a lawyer. I'd like you to treat him as your role model rather than me, which was strongly recommended to you. And I can assure you that if you do that, you will get answers to all the questions that you have in your mind. And one of his most famous statements was, when in doubt, think of the last man, the poorest of the poor, and ask yourself the question, what would be in his or her best interest for me to do? You will get your answers. So let me just recall, and especially since we are in the month of October, and we have recently celebrated Gandhi Jayanti, that he actually started out life as a lawyer, and that the turning point in his life came in South Africa when he was traveling on a train, and he was asked to vacate the train because it was for a whites only train. And here is a quotation from him. He said, "I realized the true function of a lawyer was to unite people riven asunder. The lesson was so indelibly burnt into me that a large part of my time during the 20 years of my practice as a lawyer was occupied in bringing about private compromises of hundreds of cases. I lost nothing thereby, not even money, certainly not my soul." Let me stop here. You know, very often people ask you this question, "Ma'am, we want to become human rights lawyers, but what about money?" You know, if we join the corporate sector, we've taken loans, etc., to become lawyers, and we don't have the money to get into private practice. So listen to what Gandhiji said. "I didn't even lose money. And I can tell you that if today I have succeeded the way I have succeeded, it's because my clients appreciate me. It's because they know that I will give them my best. And let me tell you, the poor are more generous than the rich. Take it from me. They are more generous in giving. And whatever little I get from them, they have made me what I am today. So I would like to tell you that if I can do it, if I can represent marginalized people in society and receive the kind of praise that I'm receiving from your principal, so can you. Okay? He has said some very kind words about me, and I appreciate it. But the point is, each one of you can get to the place where I am today without worrying about what is going to happen to me in the future. If you commit yourself to an ideology, if you commit yourself to certain values which will guide you from the day you leave law college till the day you end your profession, which hopefully will be taking you through the journey of life. Now, we all know 17 Mahatma Gandhi left his home country and went to South Africa. And I've already told you about the fact that on a train ride, he faced discrimination. Okay, today you have in your constitution Article 14 and Article 16, where did it come from? Tell me, where did it come from? It came from the freedom movement. The founding fathers and mothers of this country. It was the gift of the Constitution, but the Constitution itself was the gift of the freedom movement. So I would urge you in your institutions to read about the history of the freedom movement when you are reading in your constitutional law course, because you cannot understand this constitution without understanding the people who brought this constitution into existence. And Mahatma Gandhi obviously was responsible for getting this country liberated from the British. And I would tell you, in my journey, I realized that the work of liberating this country is an unfinished task. It's an unfinished task. It is a work in progress. There will never be a day in your life as a practicing lawyer when you will sit down and you will say, well, you know, I think my people and my country are liberated. At every turn, at every corner, what will you meet? What will you encounter? You will encounter injustice. That's your challenge. That's your big challenge. So you should consider yourself lucky when you encounter a person who needs your services, a person who's trying out for help. Many people have told me, ma'am, we don't get opportunities in this profession because we don't have mothers, fathers, and dynasty or lineage. And I always tell them, look, I never had anybody in the legal profession in my family, but I never let go a single opportunity to provide services to those who needed my services. And because of that, I have never been in a state of want. I have always had my hands full of work. I have always been able to commit myself to the work I do because I encounter, you have to have an awareness of injustice. And while you are here in this, you can see it everywhere. I remember one day I was in the High Court of Delhi. I had gone there to argue a case. The Delhi High Court was building a new building within the premises of the Delhi High Court. I went there, and what did I see? I saw child labor. I saw children working with their mothers on a construction site inside the premises of the High Court. Immediately, I took up the issue. Immediately, I wrote to the Chief Justice and I said, what is this going on? The least you can do is provide a creche in the premises of the High Court for the children of these mothers who are working on your construction site. This is what I do. That, wherever you go, whatever you do, keep your eye open. And you will see that somebody is calling out to you for your help. And do not miss that opportunity. Pick it up. Like the principal said, you picked up the opportunity of appointing protection officers, and I'm proud that this is a case which is the first of its kind in the country. And Maharashtra was the first state because of this petition to appoint full-time protection officers, which is a critical component of the domestic violence bill. So I want to tell you that there is a great power in learning how to say no to injustice. I've given you the example of Mahatma Gandhi, who said, no, I will not disembark from this train because as a human being, I'm endowed by the same human rights as you, the white people of this country, are. Another example comes from Rosa Parks, the black woman, who, just remember this. Rosa Parks was an ordinary black woman commuting to work on a bus in the United States of America. And she was told also to get off the bus because she was black. And she said, no, I'm not going to get off this bus. I have a right to be on the bus as much as you are. And this sparked off a civil rights movement in the United States of America. So you have to understand for yourself the power that you have in your hands. Very often people tell you, oh, madam, I'm alone, I'm not part of any political party, I'm not this, I'm not that. You must understand the power of one. And you must understand that you have more power than 100 people put together if you are standing on the side of justice. Of course, if you're standing on the side of injustice, you will, be forgotten by history. No one is going to come to support you. And this actually brings me to talk about India today. Where is the situation that we are located in today? And I must tell you that I myself have, after years of practice working on social and economic rights, turned my attention to civil and political rights. And through my practice, I realized that you cannot separate social and economic rights from civil and political rights. You have to be an aware political citizen. It's not enough for you to be just an aware citizen. You have to be an aware political citizen. You cast your votes at every election, but why do you cast your vote? Because it's a political act. You are actualizing democracy in this country. So you have to ask yourself this question: what is my role as a lawyer? Your role as a lawyer is to defend one of the basic features of the Constitution, that is democracy. All of you have learned in Keshavananda Bharati that democracy is a basic feature of the Constitution. This great contribution made by eminent lawyers like the late Mr. Pankiwala, who argued the case and insisted that a democracy is a basic feature of the Constitution. Now it's there. You have inherited it. And I have written an article in which I have said that the privacy judgment is the third constitution of India. The first constitution is what the freedom movement gave you. The second constitution was the Keshavananda Bharati constitution. And the third constitution is the privacy judgment of this country. So why am I saying that the privacy judgment in this country is the third constitution of this country? Because It came into existence by an act of resistance. And the act of resistance was the act of resistance to the schemes under the Aadhaar, which insist that everyone has to have an electronic biometric identity, and it has to be linked with everything else we do. Total surveillance. People said, no, we don't want this kind of surveillance. In that context, the right to privacy arose. So this is what I mean. You know, you have to understand that law and politics cannot be separated from each other. They just cannot be. Every single legal act of yours is also a political act. Because what is law? Law is just a translation of policy into binding rules and regulations. Behind every law, there is a policy. Behind every law, there is a value, which that law upholds or does not uphold. And what I'm urging you to do as lawyers, as students, as citizens, is to look at the value which this law upholds or does not uphold. You must all be disturbed by the fact that in this, you and I can get shot for just opening our mouth. I don't know, today I'm speaking here. Tomorrow if I walk out of this hall, I can have a contract killer pick up a gun and kill me. Simply because what I'm here telling you is not something that the person appreciates. This is not the rule of law. You students of law are here for. You students of law are here to learn about the rule of law. When I walk into this institution, I see the first thing, law is king. If law is king, then why are people getting shot on the streets for just speaking up? You must ask yourself this question. You must become champions of the freedom of speech and expression. You must become defenders of the rule of law, and you must become defenders of the right to free speech. That is the biggest challenge that this country is facing today. So this is how I have walked my journey in the law. Yes, let me tell you a bit about the women I've represented. Let me tell you about Mary Roy, who was an amazing woman. She was in a broken marriage, domestic violence. She went back to her natal home. When she went there, she was told, sorry, entire property of your father belongs to your brother. You cannot live in this natal home anymore. She goes there with 2 children in her boat, and she's told, get out. She then challenges this law, and she says, what kind of law is this? Which says that the entire estate of the father will go to the brother and the sister will get 5,000 rupees. And she came to me and she won her case. Discrimination, right? Discrimination based on sex. Rupal Bajaj slapped on her back by the DG of police. People laughed at her at that time and said, madam, this is such a small thing, why are you taking it so seriously? Forget it. Go back and read the news reports of that period and you'll find this is what the mainstream press was saying. Today, we have a law against sexual harassment in the country. Look at that. Look at the journey of from being an individual who says, no, I will not tolerate it, to having a law. After all, if I was able to draft the Domestic Violence Act, why was that? It was because for years together, I represented women who came to me and said, this is what is happening to me in the home. Please do something. And I realized that the law was not coming to their rescue. And that's when I decided, well, it's time for us to draft a law on domestic violence. And of course, I'm happy to say that ultimately the government of India in the year 2005 passed this legislation. It got presidential assent in 2006. And now it's 10 years, 11 years since the law has been operational. On another occasion, we can discuss how this law is being operationalized. But today, the challenges that we are facing are challenges of a constitutional nature. And for me, if I have a continuing role in the legal profession, the continuing role in the legal profession is to defend the Constitution of India as it stands today, to defend the secular character of the Constitution of India, not to allow minority rights to be eroded, not to get carried away by fake news, mesmerized by the benefits, so-called benefits of liberalization in this country, and just spend the rest of your life deciding how much money to earn and how to make a quick buck and how to get on in life. I started my lecture by referring to Mahatma Gandhi. I would like to end also by a reference to his grandson, Tushar Gandhi, who I am representing in court today. Tushar Gandhi decided to file a petition in the Supreme Court of India, raising the issue of cow vigilantism. In his petition, he filed 66 cases of people who have been done to death, including minors, 12-year-olds found hanging from a tree. Women who are raped, all in the name of cow vigilantism. All of you know the name of a clerk, all of you have heard of that, all of you know Junaid, a 15-year-old killed on a traveling train. And he put all this information together, he went to court. And when I argued this case, I would like to tell you just a few words about it and stop over there. You can read the petition online, you can also read it, you can also read the order passed by the Supreme Court of India. But the approach that I adopted, I told the Supreme Court, the matter came before the Chief Justice, Justice Deepak Mishra. I told this, and everybody thought, oh, now my goodness, it's the same thing. We are going to get into law and order. And I'm going to be told, you know, madam, law and order is a state subject, and let the states deal with it. How often have you heard this in the press? Right? How often have you heard the law will take its own course? But I was determined. I said, no. I told the judge, I have not come here to ask you to investigate into the cases that have already occurred. I know that the law will take its own course. I know there will be an investigation. On another day, we will discuss whether the investigation is proper or improper. I have come here to ask you, what is the Supreme Court of India willing to do to stop the 67th person from getting killed? What will you do for prevention? Do we have a national policy on prevention of crime? Are we proactive on prevention of crime? Or are we just willing to say, okay, let the person die, law will take its own course, we will investigate, and then people like you and me, lawyers, we spend our time, oh, but this is not a proper investigation, that is not, no. I said prevention is the key to the future. And the Chief Justice of India was very, very quick on the uptake. He realized that what I was saying was a very, very important issue. And you will not believe it, but on the first date of hearing, he passed an order. He and his colleagues obviously were sitting with Justice Chandrachud and Justice Kandvikar. On the first day of hearing, they passed an order saying that every state in the country will appoint a nodal officer whose only responsibility it will be to make sure that there is no vigilantism by non-state actors, that people from civil society don't go around killing each other on the streets. After all, what is law there for? If you have a grievance, take your grievance to court. So this is one of the cases that I'm very happy to be doing, very proud of, and of course I'm very proud to be representing the grandson of Mahatma Gandhi, who continues with his commitment to the ideas of the Mahatma, and who continues to campaign for peace and non-violence. So I would like to stop over here. Happy to hear what you have to say. By saying peace, there is no substitute, nor is there any negotiation or compromise with peace and justice. Peace and justice are the birthrights of every single person in this country. And as lawyers, I expect you to continue to work for peace and justice. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Such was wonderful words of wisdom from Honorable Indra Jaising, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India. She remembered Mahatma Gandhi, and she told us the role of the lawyers, that we are not only here to read the law books, but here we are to fight for the injustice. You meet injustice at every corner and you have to raise your voice. What she has done in this journey to fight for the crime against women, whether it is in the house or on the streets, whether it is rights for the children, whether it is rights of a common man, and she said, and I quote, she said that it is the poor person who pays you more than the rich people. And I remember the quote of Mahatma Gandhi, he said, rich people pays and poor people praise. So therefore, if you have the blessings of the poor people, definitely you have all those milestones what Indira Jaising Madam has achieved. She was right in talking about the upholding the principles of democracy, upholding the principles of rule of law, and then having the freedom of speech and expression. We have to think as lawyers and law students that what are the policies of the government of India, whichever is the government, we have to think and analyze, and we have to raise the voice if there is injustice. And therefore, every lawyer, whether he's single, is equal to 100 people if he fight for injustice and raises his voice. And law is behind you. If you say that law is the king of kings, you are king yourself, and you can defend everybody who wants justice. With these words, she has told us the importance of right to privacy, which is the third constitution, which she says, and she says that this right to privacy will definitely change the life of the people in India, particularly from those e-surveillances and interference unnecessary in the personal matters of every citizens. And therefore, she considered that is one of the best judgments which we had in the recent time after the judgment of basic structure. I thank Madam for giving such a wonderful, mesmerizing lecture. To tell those who are participants, we welcome all of you to this Surana and Surana Moot Court competition. The trial advocacy is not only to get the trophy, it is not to get the award, it is not to get the prize, but it is to make yourself aware of the rights and duties of lawyers, how to represent in the court, how to address to the judge, and how to defend for justice. How to see that you can claim the rights of human being. Every case is not a case, it is a cause. Don't consider case as a commercial case, a source for money. It is not a source for money, it is a source for defending rights of the people. So I always tell its case is not a case, it is a cause of the people who are in pain. So understand their pain and give the justice. And therefore, basically these competitions, Surana and Justice B and Bhagwati, it is to respect the rights of human beings and to protect the rights of all those who cannot defend themselves. So ladies and gentlemen, I welcome all those who have come all across the country for participating in this moot court competition. There are 18 teams which are participating. We are having preliminary rounds, we'll have quarterfinals, and then we'll have semi-finals and finals tomorrow. The finals will be judged by the sitting judges of High Court. Though it is a moot court competition, but it is real judges who are going to judge your skills, those who come in finals. So it is not a moot court, it is actually a real court. And these judges have shown interest to come and talk to the students personally and to tell them that where they are going wrong and what quality lawyers they need in the courts. And therefore, I always say, excellence in law students will result into excellence in judicial justice delivery system. So justice delivery system will have excellence only when there is excellence in law schools. So we will try and see that how best you are scrutinized in the finals. In the finals, we have Honorable Mr. Justice A.K. Sikri, the Judge Supreme Court of India. Tomorrow he will be there for the prize distribution. Justice Dinesh Maheshwari sir, who is the Chief Justice of Meghalaya High Court. And we also have to judge Honorable Srimati Justice Vasanti Naik, the Judge of the Bombay High Court. Honorable Mr. Justice M.M. Singh Bedi, the Judge of Punjab and Haryana High Court. Honorable Mr. Justice C.S. Charan Singh, the Judge Patna High Court. Honorable Mr. Justice V. Chidambaram, Judge Kerala High Court, and Honorable Mr. Justice A. Masoodi is the Judge of Allahabad High Court bench. So you are having 6 judges tomorrow in the final rounds. So I request all those who are participating, definitely they will be there, but those who are the students of law in first and second year, those who could not get the chance to participate, to please come and attend this event. You will understand how the judge is asking the question, because everyone's dream is to go and practice and become a renowned lawyer like Indira Jaising Madam in the High Court or Supreme Court, wherever you're working. If your dream is to become a judge, if your dream is to become a lawyer, if your dream is to become a defender of human rights, the opportunity is yours. You can come and grab the opportunity. Madam said, opportunity comes seldom, and if you take the opportunity, never knows that you can become a very successful man in terms of money, in terms of name, in terms of giving justice to the people. So I thank all of you for coming and participating in Surana and Surana. Let's put a round of applause for all those dignitaries on the dais. And I call upon the students to give the vote of thanks. After vote of thanks, we'll have national anthem. And the students who are participating, they'll go to courtroom. The judges will stay in the auditorium for the orientation by Advocate Ravichandran. Thank you.
Good morning, one and all. On behalf of the New Law College family, I thank our chief guest, Honorable Mrs. Indira Jaising, Senior Advocate, Supreme Court of India, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion with her esteemed presence. Your words of wisdom will be an inspiration for the young budding lawyers for years to come. I also thank our guest of honor, Professor Dr. A. K. Lakshminath, Vice Chancellor, Chanakya National Law University, Patna, for taking out time from his busy schedule and blessing us with his presence. I also thank our special guest, Honorable Dr. S. Ravichandran, Advocate and Head, Academic Initiatives, Surana and Surana International Attorneys, for his never-ending support and guidance to all. I also thank our founder and chancellor, Honorable Dr. Patanrauji Kadam, and our vice chancellor, Honorable Professor Dr. N.M. Salunke, for being a guiding light. My words of thanks also goes out to the erstwhile eminent personalities from legal fraternity, distinguished judges, invitees, the press, faculty, escorts, volunteers, and the participating teams. Lastly, I would like to extend my best wishes to all the participants. Thank you one and all for your cordial presence. Now we conclude with the national anthem.
We have a video, then we have national anthem for the. Okay, we have national anthem now. Video. We wanted to show Surana and Surana before. Video of Surana we have.
Congratulate Bharati Vidyapith University and Law College for organizing this MOOC competition. I have so many MOOC competitions in the last 15 years or so. I have been chief guest. I have been there at the end of the MOOC competition, where I distributed prizes or have given valedictory addresses. But let me tell you very frankly that this kind of MOOC competition, trial MOOC competition, I am witnessing for the first time.
Dr. Tara, what are educational qualifications? I'm an MBBS and an MD. What is the full form of MBBS? All right. My Lord, Mr. Raghunlal. 105. And what's the date of birth? Sorry, your date of birth? My date of birth, like. And it's all I proceed. It's okay. I understand. Is this the statement you made to the police? Yeah. This is the statement. Yeah. In this statement, did you state that you were inside the bedroom? See, I'll begin first with the fact. The day of my father's death. No, I'll read it to the court. The day of my father's death. I'll read it to the court. Right now, challenging the authority because our authority has not said that we have to identify the character as well. Can you identify the accused, Mr. Manohar Lal? Can you identify the accused? I don't know challenging the authority. Can you identify the accused, Mr. Manohar Lal? Yeah, there.
we, we should think ourselves as a student, and the professors will be in front of us, the learned lawyers, will argue the matter in question. So, and really it's nothing but an interaction between us. Similarly, this moot court competition is nothing but an interaction between yourselves. It will develop your skill to have a debate with the other side, to make the points which they will raise in this moot court, and then come to the answer.
Pure education is such as will give you the capacity to keep on learning from all your experiences. New ideas are being thrown up today in every sphere of activity, whether it is law, whether it is medicine, whether it is exploration of the mind, exploration of the earth, or the outer space. There are infinite possibilities before us, and education makes it possible for you to take part in this adventure. If the talent which I see here is very indication about the general talent is, then I think we are looking forward to some very good, interesting talent in the judiciary. Because I always believe that what you bring in as part of the bar, elevate the standard of the bar, you will automatically raise the quality of the judiciary itself. Witnesses did a very good job. I made this observation before. A lot of caution, a word of advice, don't make that a profession. There's no winning or losing in an actual court. What you're preparing here is for an ideal court, and we still don't have it in the country. Winning or losing doesn't matter. I always joke about this. I say you get paid anyway. But have a passion. That's what I saw here today, and that's what I want each of you to have. Have a passion for the subject. The rest just follows.
We now shall rise for national anthem.